Alright, so this entire thing started out with me searching through Pinterest, as I do, and I came across this photo, which immediately made me think of someone in my life. Upon clicking it, I was also able to see this one. Again, thought about the same person. Then I continued by opening up multiple tabs, as one would, and clicking through their link, to see how much I would be spending if I was to buy this for someone. I then thought to myself, these prices are only slightly higher than the average, probably? But for what you're getting... Oh wait, this is a US site. Let's just switch that over to Canadian. Oh! Maybe this one, it's on sale. Not even going to consider the fact that that's not even the same one in the picture. Okay. Nope, that's more expensive. Then I wondered, could I make this for cheaper? And in doing so, I could also make it my own. Thus began my journey. I started off with 12 hardcover books, which I picked up from my local thrift shop for $2 each. Some of them just had regular covers, some of them had slip-over covers, like it was a slip over the top, which I simply just slid off. Then, opening up each one to the back cover, I added Gorilla Wood Glue when I ran out of whatever type this was, putting a very generous layer on, and then adding whatever was left on my finger or the popsicle stick to the sides of the book to help them stick better together. Then, it was tool time. Placing one book over the top of the other, not in any particular order other than just the bottom book needing to be larger in either width or length than the one on top of it. Again, wood glue on the back cover, but this time in moving forward I'm also pre-drilling a hole into the approximate middle. Blowing off the paper that comes up with the drill, realizing it's just gonna get stuck in the glue, and then placing a screw in the hole while it slightly dances around. Doo -doo -doo. And closing that book before the glue actually dries down. And then doing this pretty much just 10 more times. About halfway through, I put the books on top of some rolls of tape to elevate them and added some pressure to the top and bottom, so the pages and the books would stick together as best as possible. I didn't show this every time, but I did it every time. I think I did about 1 to 2 books a night to give them ample setting time. Putting this together, because I was making it from scratch, it allowed me to run the books as I saw fit, and I didn't want them to be even because I wanted to give them the appearance of messily placed. I also enlisted the help of another creative, my father, because a second hand and a second opinion is never a bad thing, especially with these kind of projects. And finally, to give them as much stability as possible, and again, with some help, we used a 16 inches long drill bit to go as far down into the books as possible to add the stabilizing rebar to it. First with the 1/4 of an inch, then to make the hole thick enough to stow away the rubber with no issues, we continued with a 1/2 inch, but still 16 inches long. This did take quite a few tries. I mean, it's good for this end. For the rebar, it wasn't pre-cut, and as we already had it on hand, and the size we needed was not a usual size for the rebar to come in, so I cleaned it. I cleaned it with a sanding sponge to get rid of its dirt, and gave it a slight wash, and then we cut it. And by we, I mean him. We cut it about halfway and then broke it the rest of the way. Oh, wow. That was oddly easy. and then hammered it into place, almost viciously. At least that's how it sounded when I was right next to it. Next, it was time to level it out. We spitballed multiple ideas on how to properly and sufficiently balance it out, including using shims in between each book as needed, or using those rubber furniture stops and placing more or less where they need to be. What if we put one of these down?
Try.
Yeah, like I feel like if it's like this and you have so many legs up here and it's not doing it, taking one like that. There was even talk on leaving something very unsturdy under one side, but we knew that wouldn't work because although it was perfect to actually like leave it there, it was perfect for leveling, it couldn't have worked because it was unstable. It's literally perfect.
Yeah, except you can't leave that in there.
I know that. That's why I'm like, what if we screwed this side in? So this side isn't completely screwed in. I can wood glue this. But if we screw in this side, then it'll have that added support. Oh. Now it has to be held. One is here. Because I knew I would be painting this as well, I numbered each side off, and I actually wrote down the number to know how many rubber furniture stops we would need on each and screwed those in. And then... I'm fine. Ever so slightly. It's fine. I decided for my safety's sake I would be as far away from the drill as possible while keeping the book stable. Trisha, that sweat, blood, and tears went into this. I'm not bleeding, I was making a joke. Yeah, there's two here. I'm just gonna hold it over here now.
Two go here?
Yeah. Now the three, where are you?
Second.
Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, okay. See how
Shall we see the fruits of our labors?
once it was level and we added the tabletop on top, which was a corkboard picture frame. Nice.
Okay. What we have to do next is figure out how we're going to attach that to that.
From a local secondhand shop, which was a whole thing in itself. We started taking the backing off entirely.
Watch, it all just falls apart.
Taping the sides off so nothing would leak out. Placing it on the ground and again shimmying it so it was level. The original plan for this was to add the resin on top that would act almost as a glass to make it completely seamless, but this was my first time actually working with resin and I wouldn't recommend this specific one. So that's just honestly why I'm not showing it. Definitely do look at reviews because this one said it was self-leveling and it was most definitely not. But at least it made it waterproof in any case. Then, leading back to the books, we taped off all of the pages of them so I could start on the painting process. In case you were wondering how much tape is used to tape off 12 books, it's a lot of time and tape. And then I spray painted 2 coats of black onto the books, letting each dry in between. And then a matte clear coat topper. Once all 3 coats were fully dry, I peeled off the tape, which didn't necessarily go as planned, but here you go anyways. And then the silver enamel, which again I just put on the pages of the books. Got way too much not on the pages of the books. Went back in with the black spray paint by spraying a bit into the lid, using a small detailing brush to go over any of the silver that bled onto the book. This actually took a couple layers because the silver was actually decent paint, and it actually kind of just really stuck out. Secondary voiceover Sarah here, the word you're looking for is pigmented. Got some glass cut from a local shop. A wild father appears. Did you need any help? If you guys are in the Brantford area, I highly recommend McLennan's. Ooh, she perfect fit. Like when you kind of peel it back, it's bored.
Yeah.
So the paper's not really doing shit. And I feel like the Gorilla wood glue would just like rip it off anyways. I feel like the people in the movies who end up ripping like into a dead body.
10 inches wide.
To add the tabletop to the stack of books and give it a further stability as well.
14 inches long. I don't like that.
As something to latch onto, we cut a piece of plywood.
Down the guide and into place.
And you're good.
It's locked in place.
Safety goggles. Screwed that into the stack. And then painted that with the same black I've been using this entire time. Alongside the sides and back of the picture tabletop, I used a long piece of styrofoam to be more precise about where the paint was going. And if you didn't already know, I can definitely confirm that spray paint actually causes styrofoam to disintegrate. I got a few accidental drops of spray paint on my canvas, which I wiped away promptly with a wet cloth. Super easy, super quick. Then some more peel porn.
It's like the last step of construction.
Pretty much, no pressure here. adding the top onto the bottom with that same Gorilla wood glue and the added security of E6000. We placed it on. Do it,
Okay,
just
so
do
you
it.
okay with
We weighed it down. For the glass portion, I added some non-slip rubber stopper to the top as they had an adhesive backing to them, so it was easy enough. Let you go. And then place the glass on top. Dude, I would fucking cry at this point. Finally. Oh no. I'm so afraid
Is
to.
it gonna fit?
It is, it's just.
Doesn't that look better?
And we're done. And this is the finished product. It is the biggest project I have made to date. It's elegant, it's simplistic. It took a lot of work and I'm extremely happy and proud with how it came out. I couldn't be happier with the results. As for the pricing though, some materials I had, most I had to buy, but the ones I did have to buy, I still have a ton of, so I didn't use it all on this one project. So technically it did cost me, but it wasn't just purely put towards this. So do keep that in mind. The books were thrifted at $2 each and I sourced 12 of them. The corkboard canvas was $8, metallic enamel paint sourced for $10. I ended up using a can and a bit, so I purchased 2 cans of the black matte spray paint, one of the clear matte at $8.99 each. The locally cut glass was $25. The rubber stops I sourced for $1.25. I actually did have the rebar on hand, so that was free for me, but the cheapest one I found online or in store is priced at $8.49 currently. The resin I bought off of Amazon, you can definitely get one for cheaper than I did that comes with far more, but I paid $38.99, totaling the cost to $126.37, $126.37, which isn't that far off of $189, but I was also able to, again, customize this and make it my own. It's amazing to look at a piece of art on its own, but it's a whole nother world to look at something like this and know that you made it from scratch for someone, or just for yourself. I love this and I'm so glad I took the time to put this together.